Hello and happy summer. It's July and boy is it hot. If you want to come up and visit me in my office, we'll have to suggest another venue because the air conditioning in 3rd floor McNeil is not working. It's okay, we'll survive. And I hope you're surviving as well. This is the first week of July, and if you've completed all your work thus far, and most of you have, you are better than 40% done with our course. So congratulations, well done. Good job. Try to keep up. As you may have figured out, once you get that next essay in, that Shakespeare essay, things start to slow down a bit. And the whole point of this video is to let you know you do have a final project coming up, but the goal of that final project is to help you see ways to use the work you've already done to create a final analysis of our main topic, which is the connection between the history of the city and the arts and entertainment, right? So by the time you get going on that project, we will have looked at Athens, at Rome, at London, at New York, eventually New Orleans, and certainly some of the projects you're doing from time to time relate to the city you're in as well. So it might be Wichita, it might be Denver, it might be Montevideo. There's all kinds of places that people are this summer, and they are using their local experiences to make this class really rock. So I appreciate that. Well, one of the things I wanted to do was to give you a heads up on the final project for this class. So here we go. As you can see, I have way too much going on my desktop, but let's get to Blackboard via the website. And let's see, it may take a minute to get going. Sometimes, as you know, our Newman University website's a little slow. Let's see. Come on, Blackboard. So we're going to go to Blackboard. We're going to go to our class, I think. There we go, finally. Headed to Blackboard, and then we're going to go to Bread and Circuses. And I have this final project in several places, but you can go from the opening page. And if you scroll on down, sorry, I hope that's not making you dizzy. If you scroll on down, you can get to the summer final project. And when that opens, you'll see that it's a multiple step project. So here we go. First off, the project is called Your City and the Creative Spirit. And I purposely designed it so that you can reevaluate things you've already done. You can use this as a comprehensive project. Try to use, I say, elements from the whole class. Readings, writing assignments, discussions, the activities you've done. Think of this project as a comprehensive exam, but you kind of get to choose the questions. You must complete this project in order to earn a passing grade for the class. It's only 20%, it's only 200 points, but if you don't do this final project, I won't let you pass. So please don't try to opt out of it and just say, well, I'm just going to pass the class, I'm not going to do this, because this is not that hard. And it's a chance for you to sort of reflect on what we've done. I know summer's tight, but hang in there. The first installment, we're going to do this in installments. We're going to do this in a way that makes it manageable. The first installment is due Wednesday, July 10. Wednesday, July 10. And this is just, let's get going. So the first thing you want to do is you want to identify 3 of the goals for the creative spirit, or 3 of those creative spirit objectives that we have in our syllabus, and I've posted on every assignment that you have, every writing assignment. Pick 3. You've been working on those throughout the course of this course. Pick the 3 you like the best. Then identify or explore a current example of a city or town supported venue or festival or entertainment, right? And specifically that helps you to identify the culture of that city or community. Some of you have already mentioned things like the Keeper of the Plains for Wichita, perfect. Or maybe the River Festival for the Riverfest, excuse me, for Wichita, perfect. Maybe you want to look at, maybe you're traveling this summer, or maybe you live in New York and you're thinking Statue of Liberty, or you're thinking the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Fabulous. Pick a venue that you think is a great example that sort of identifies the city or the community that supports it. It could be the Veterans Memorial. It could be a local park like Sedgwick County Park. Whatever you like. Think of it as something that really says, this is my town, right? And then identify 3 of the goals for the creative spirit that you think you'll be able to examine that place based on those goals. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this does need to be a venue that enjoys public tax dollars. We are looking specifically at those things that a city chooses to support, right? So not a private spot, right? But something that actually the community values enough to support with taxpayer dollars, right? Okay, so that's what we want to do. So that's your first assignment. That's July 10. July 10. Put that all together in a nice little, probably 1-page presentation. Upload that at Blackboard at the proper link in that week that is associated with July 10, right? And get that done. Now, you can certainly change your mind as you go along. So if you, as you move along, you think, ooh, darn, that was a dumb thing. I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. That's fine. You can change your mind. You can use something you've already done. You can use your out and about project. We're about to get excited and going on graffiti. If you want to use a graffiti project, great. If you want to use, someone identified Shakespeare in the Park in Wichita as an event this summer. If you want to use Shakespeare in the Park, do it. Find something that you like and that maybe relates nicely to our course. We're going to be looking at the New Orleans Superdome soon. And that has great connections to, say, the Intrust Arena here in Wichita or the Chiefs Stadium in KC. So take a look, think about what you really want to try to look at as an example of the creative spirit in a community that sort of identifies the community that supports it, right? So that's your first job, your first goal, just identify, explore. The second element is to do a little more work on the research associated with how it's funded, right? Let's see if I can get on down there. So that's not due until July 19th, right? So take a look at that. Some people like to do both of these things together, that's fine. But on July 19th, I'm going to ask you to give it a little more thought, do a little more research, and find out how your venue is funded. It may be a combination of city and private money, right? Very often it is. It may be all city money. But do a little research. Find out how taxpayer dollars are being used to support that. Cowtown Museum, for example, Old Cowtown is supported by both county and city money, right? So it could be a combination, and private money. So it could be a combination of things. That's due July 19th. July 26th, practically the end of our class. I'm going to ask you to write an essay like you've been writing on Shakespeare, on the Gladiators, on Antigone. But this time it's going to be your venue and your analysis. In this 3 to 4 page essay, you're going to demonstrate the following. The inspiration for your work, why did you choose this place? Identify those 3 goals for the course and connect them to your project. This is the analysis part, right? How does your project reflect those creative spirit goals? Spend some time on each one. Don't just give me one line. Give it some really good thought. And then also include some comparisons. Can you compare this to some of the work you've already done, right? And this can be in your essay writing. This can be in your quizzes maybe. This can be in your evaluation of lectures you've seen online. This can be projects you've done like the Out and About project, the graffiti project, which is coming. So figure out a way to use the things you've already done in class. Steal from yourself. Take that analysis you've done, particularly on those goals, and say, and let us know how your venue maybe compares to the work we've been doing in class, right? Make this a really in-depth analysis. Yes, please make sure you also show in your final paper how this project is supported by public funding. And the idea is to put all of this together and write this up, right? And submit it at the proper link in the week associated with July 26th. Then, once you do so, I'm going to ask that you read at least 2 of your colleagues' papers. Yeah, this is going to be like a writing workshop. Read a couple of papers. And then offer them some good constructive criticism. What did they miss? Are there some suggestions you have for presentation? Maybe you've done some research that would help them see another element to their analysis that maybe they didn't consider before. So help them make this a better paper. The idea here is that a lot of your colleagues may be using this presentation for Scholars Day, because it brings together lots of different disciplines. It brings together a lot of different visual work as well as analysis, and this would be a great presentation. So give them some feedback as though they're getting ready to present it, right? They may not, you may not do that, but let's just pretend that that's what we're going to do. Several of you will actually do this because this is a great project for that Scholars Day presentation. Finally, on July 31, I'd like you to then, based on your writing, based on the feedback from your colleagues, please by July 31st, that's the last Wednesday of our class, that's week 8, please submit a creative element. This, for most of you, might just be a Prezi or a PowerPoint presentation that sort of gives us some visuals to go along with your analysis. So if you were going to give a presentation of your final paper, what PowerPoint maybe would you use? For some of you, this might be an interesting poem. This might be a work of art. I've had students put together collage before. That's really fun to see. So it shows all the different elements. It could be a photo essay. Maybe you go to your venue and take a lot of different photos from a lot of different perspectives, and you just want to have a photo essay in a PowerPoint that runs, maybe accompanied by music. Whatever you want to do, use this as an opportunity to let your creative side flow. Use this as an opportunity to work on some of those skills associated with presentation. Again, that's due on July 31, and the idea here is to have your colleagues get a chance to look at all the work you've done, so we'll put it up at Blackboard, and then maybe give you some suggestions, some feedback by Friday, August 2nd. So every one of these elements has a point value, you may have noticed. So the feedback due on Friday, August 2nd, that's worth 60 points. The actual creative presentation, and again, that could be a paper, that could be an essay. If you're not artistically inclined and you just want to do, let me write a nice essay, go for it. That's due July 31st, and it's 70 points. The actual paper, right, oh sorry, I've got them backwards, don't I? The actual paper is worth 70 points. The creative component, I think, is worth 60 points. I think the response to your colleagues is probably just another discussion. Sorry, I don't know exactly the points there. Let's see, the follow the money is 30 points. The explore portion, the identify your project here is 40 points. So as you can see, we're building the points as we go. So don't skip any of these parts. First off, it helps you build a final presentation. And secondly, these are, I'm not saying that they're easy points to win, but it's really kind of a participation point. Get going, get going. So if you have any questions about this project, please let me know. Please contact me via email. It is 4th of July week. I'll be doing a little traveling, but I'll be in and out of Wichita, so never fear. But I will maybe not get back to you quite as quickly as I normally do. But take a look. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's get going on this project. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Have a good 4th.